Now, as we've been reporting all morning, President Trump is proposing the U.S. take over Gaza. Let's bring in our CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang to help understand what this really means. Weijia, it was really quite a shocking statement. How, if this ever comes to fruition, would this work?
Well, Errol, we don't know how it would work because there are so many outstanding questions about the legality and about the logistics. But I can tell you President Trump's vision for what he wants to see happen in Gaza. He thinks that the U.S. should own it for a long term and control it. He says that the country would level off the territory and then rebuild, which he claims would, stimulate a new economy and give people a peaceful place to live. So essentially, turning this into a real estate development and building from the bottom up. But Errol, there's so many things that the president did not answer. For example, what authority he has to take over a sovereign territory and what you do with the some 2 million Palestinians who currently live there and would be displaced. Earlier in the day, he said that they should permanently resettle, and he has talked about moving the Palestinians out of there to other places, other countries that would be willing to take them. But then when he made this proposal, Errol, he also said that eventually, after Gaza was rebuilt, everybody would live there, the, quote, world's people, including Palestinians. So, as you mentioned, this was a stunning idea, one that he hadn't really elaborated on before, and it leaves a lot of questions about how it could all work.
And it, strangely enough, feeds into the suspicion some people in the region had that Israel's ultimate aim during the war was to clear out Gaza. So interesting that this remark will be made during the meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. What else did they discuss?
Well, this was certainly the top of the agenda, not necessarily this new proposal, but certainly this ceasefire in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. And Errol, just to really add some context here, under the current ceasefire deal, rebuilding Gaza is part of phase 3. That is the last of 3 phases of the deal. Phase 2 is the really critical one because that includes a permanent ceasefire. That includes returning all the remaining hostages and withdrawing all IDF troops from Gaza. Because before you can talk about rebuilding, you have to talk about how you're going to end the war. And that's really not something that the two leaders elaborated on. When asked whether he was optimistic that could even happen, Netanyahu said that, we'll try to get there. And the president said, I don't know if that ceasefire will hold. And so it seems like, they are getting ahead of their skis talking about the future of Gaza when in reality, it is still a war-torn area. They also talked about Iran because obviously they're trying to work toward peace and stability in the region. And they talked about Iran, specifically their nuclear ambitions and their desire to build a nuclear weapon. This comes after the president yesterday signed an executive order to, quote, maximize pressure on Iran, and he, imposed tough sanctions because he says he wants to drive the oil exports to zero. So essentially, they don't have any money to work on any nuclear capability. Errol.
A lot of big headlines during Trump's first 100 days, this of his second term. Weijia Jiang, thanks so much for joining us from the White House.